And I call the member for Bennelong.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I thank the member for Hawke for bringing this motion to this place, because it really outlines what this government has done in 10 short months, not only putting into practice the promises that we took to the election, but dealing with the challenges that we've been facing since government. Because for too long, hard-working Australians have been struggling to make ends meet as their wages have gone backwards, as their bills have grown and as the cost of essential goods and services have risen. From energy bills to childcare, housing and healthcare costs, the daily cost of living has become a massive burden for many Australians. And last year, the Australian people knew that they needed a government that was not afraid to take these issues head-on. They wanted a government with a plan, not one that was focused on themselves and not one that ignored their concerns. That's why they put this faith in a new government to take on the important responsibility of repairing our economy after a decade of neglect and indifference by those opposite. Deputy Speaker, this government has a plan to address the complex economic challenges that our country faces. And we now know what a terrible job those opposite did managing our economy. And we heard today in question time where minister after minister came up and identified program after program that was not funded in our budget. Empty announcements with no funding, leaving the budget booby-trapped for the incoming government. They also had no plan to deal with inflation. They hid energy price rises instead of being honest with our community, and they left us with $1 trillion worth of Liberal debt with nothing to show for it. The Liberals and Nationals had no plan to fix the economy that they trashed, so the nation elected a new government to deal with it. We have and we will continue to deliver not just short-term measures to help address this problem, but also a comprehensive and multifaceted approach to address the root causes of these issues and to provide Australians with long-term solutions and economic stability. We are providing genuine relief to household budgets through a large range of measures that we have already delivered. Because of Labor, childcare will be cheaper. For nearly 10,000 families in Bennelong, childcare will be cheaper from the 1st of July, putting money back into household budgets. Because of Labor, medicines are already cheaper. The first reduction in the cost of medicines on the PBS from $42.50 down to $30, delivering millions of dollars back to families across the country. And because of Labor, there are more university places available. There are 180,000 fee-free TAFE positions that are already in the system, helping workers retrain for the jobs of the future. And we know because of this government we have got wages moving again. We also know that we'll deliver more renewable energy and build 400 community batteries, which will add gigawatts and gigawatts of the cheapest form of power available to the grid today. By prioritising the development of renewable energy sources, we'll provide not only affordable power, but long-term sustainable energy supply for all Australians. And of course, we brought back Parliament to implement a price cap on gas and coal to shield households, industry and manufacturers from energy price spikes to ensure they keep their jobs and they can deal with the hidden cost increases of the former government, but also have a buffer on shocks in the future. And Deputy Speaker, we're also working hard to deal with the housing crisis. We know it's tough for lots of Australians to afford a home, especially if they're trying to buy or rent for the first time, and we know the importance of secure and affordable housing. So we have legislation that's passed the House, awaiting approval in the Senate, to get hundreds of millions of dollars in investments in affordable housing to make it easier for people to rent and own a home, but also for institutional investors to invest in social housing. We've passed the National Reconstruction Fund, which will help deal with our supply chain issues, create jobs, stimulate economic growth and benefit all Australians. The Coalition will continue to ignore all these achievements. In 10 short months, we've delivered a lot for the Australian people, but there is so much more to do. They'll continue to feign care for those impacted by the cost of living. They'll come up here and ask questions and put matters of public importance, but they'll never present any solutions, Deputy Speaker. And as a responsible and new government, we'll continue to work with and be honest with the Australian people to deliver restraint and repair of the budget that we know needs definite repair. By focusing on the economy and putting in policies and initiatives, we'll work hard for all Australians.
I thank the member.